Hi, this is Teresa Momber, and here's a look at the card I'll show you how to create in today's video. Trim white cardstock to 4 by 5¼ inches, and then stamp the large frame image from the Framescapes Winter Trees stamp set from Gina K Designs using a very light colored ink. I'm using Memento Angel Pink in this case. With the image very lightly colored onto the background, you'll be able to position that mountain just where you want it. I'm inking up with Gina K Black Onyx ink and then stamping off onto a sticky note. Then stamping onto my background so that the image will be a little lighter. Now I'm going to cut out that stamped image on the sticky note to use it as a mask. Next, cut a small circle to create a mask for your sun. The circle I cut is about 3/4 inch. With both the sun and mountain masks in place, begin sponging around the sun using Gina K Sweet Corn ink. Switch to Gina K Bubblegum Pink ink and continue sponging. Now switch to Gina K Powder Blue ink and continue sponging. Use this ink across the entire sky, keeping it lighter near the sun and darker near the top. Switch to Gina K Blue Denim ink and continue sponging along the top edge of the cardstock. Now switch to Gina K Wild Lilac ink and once again sponge just along the top of the cardstock. Now switch to Gina K Black Onyx ink for the bottom of the cardstock, but you'll want to tap off as much excess ink as you can onto scratch paper so that you can work very lightly. Keep sponging very lightly, working your way up to the horizon line and filling in the entire foreground. As you keep building up the ink, allow it to get a little darker along the bottom edge. Remove the mask from the sun. Then use the negative from cutting the circle as a mask for around the sun and secure it in place. Use Gina K Sweet Corn ink to sponge into your circle. Then switch to Gina K Sweet Mango ink and sponge just along the very outer edges of the circle. Then remove that mask and remove the mountain mask as well. After removing the mountain mask, you'll likely have a bit of a hard line along the bottom of the mountains, so just go back with your sponge without re-inking and just lightly go over that area to try to soften that look. Now place your cardstock back into your Misti or use a stamp positioner to stamp the image again, this time using Gina K Black Onyx ink. To create some shading in the foreground, start with Copic marker W5 and use this to fill in the area below the trees and fill in all the rocks. Then switch to marker BV11 to soften the shading into the foreground a bit. Use Copic marker N5 to create shadows for the trees. I'm starting by just putting a vertical line beneath each of the trees. Then I'll go back and add some horizontal squiggles so that'll look a little bit like the foliage. Just do this in a real loose fashion, it doesn't have to be precise. Then, with all the shadows in place, to soften the look just a bit, go back over it with a light colored marker. I'm using N5 for this step. Stamp the silhouette hiker image in the foreground using Gina K Black Onyx ink. Stamp the tiny grass cluster around the hiker using Gina K Black Onyx ink, but stamp off onto scratch paper first to make the image a little lighter. Then stamp the image a few more times around that closest cluster of trees, this time using the ink at full strength. Stamp the silhouette bird image in the sky using Gina K Black Onyx ink. To complete the card, adhere your image layer to a piece of Gina K Black Onyx cardstock that's trimmed slightly larger, and then adhere both layers to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch lovely lavender card base. And that completes today's video. Thanks for watching.